Meet Oebe. You may know him better as Weirdo, Larry, or Larry Llama. And today, Oebe is celebrating his 22nd birthday. Coincidentally, he also shares his birthday with one of his friends, Nero. And throughout this video, I will be referring to Oebe as Weirdo, as it's his main nickname that I call him, and it is a real habit. I do just call him Weirdo, and I never use his real name, so sorry for any confusion. Before Weirdo arrived at Greenbank, we knew that he spent much of his life as a driving horse. He's been out and about, seen different places, and experienced different things. He's definitely been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. He may have got several t-shirts, who knows? Whilst we don't know every chapter of his story before Greenbank, we do know that in late 2022, his owners found themselves unable to provide the care that he needed. So they got in touch with us to see what we could do to help. And Weirdo came to the farm and became a permanent sanctuary resident in December of 2022. One of the funny things about Weirdo is that despite only arriving in December 2022, it feels as though he's always been part of the Frisian family, and we've known him for his whole life, even though it's actually only been 4 years. When he arrived, he looked very different from the horse we know today. He was underweight, lacked muscle, and honestly, he looked like a proper little old man. There wasn't any sparkle about him. He looked tired, sad, and somehow just looked much smaller than he does today. Following his initial assessment, Weirdo spent time out in the turnouts and fields near the yard, mainly with Annie and Hannes. It didn't take very long for two things to become obvious. Firstly, Weirdo had a very strong personality, and secondly, Weirdo absolutely loves the girls. As he settled into the herd, his dominant side quickly started to emerge. He knew exactly where he wanted to be in the pecking order, and he wasn't afraid to let everyone else know either. In fact, when the boys and girls were still together, Weirdo decided that he'd looked like someone worth challenging, and the two boys quickly made it clear that neither of them intended to back down. It was an early sign that he was a horse who liked to be in charge, and we later separated them as it's much easier to have Hidda and his ladies and Weirdo being in charge of the boys. At that time, he needed extra feed and careful management to help him regain his weight and condition. Slowly but surely, things started to change. The weight returned, the muscle returned. Most importantly, he found his sparkle. Looking back at the photos from when he first arrived, compared with how he looks today, it's quite remarkable. Today, Weirdo certainly isn't that little skinny little man anymore. He may be sometimes on the fatter side, but he's older now, so he's allowed to be fat and happy, living his best life. Looking at him today, it's hard to believe he's turning 22. He's bright, mischievous, opinionated, and still convinced that every mare on the farm is in love with him. If you ask Weirdo how old he was, I think he'd probably tell you he was 6, because Weirdo is 22 going on 2. No matter how old he gets, he'll always be a little mischievous toddler at heart. As Weirdo settled into life at Greenbank, his personality really began to shine through once he got his feet under the table. And what a personality it turned out to be. In fact, if I had to describe him in one sentence, I'd probably say that Weirdo, he is no other than Rod Stewart in equine form. Or perhaps, if Rod Stewart and Mick Jagger had a child, it would be Weirdo in equine form. He's sort of like his own little mythical creature. Weirdo doesn't walk anywhere, he swaggers. Why rush when you can make an entrance? Feed time is the perfect example. While everyone else is heading over to breakfast, Weirdo takes his sweet little time. After all, he knows exactly who he is. He's top dog amongst the boys, and they know it. So while others are making their way over, Weirdo casually strolls across as though he's arriving on a red carpet. There's no need to hurry. The food will still be there, and he pulls it off every single time. Of course, Weirdo would probably disagree with the Rod Stewart comparison. Personally, I think he sees himself somewhere closer to someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. Handsome, confident, charismatic, completely convinced that everyone is looking at him. And to be fair, they usually are, especially the girls. Because if there is one thing Weirdo loves almost as much as attention, it's the ladies. In fact, his anthem could only ever be one song, Do You Think I'm Sexy by Rod Stewart. A song so fitting that it may as well have been written specifically for him, because Weirdo absolutely loves the girls. Perhaps a little bit too much. In fact, the Dirty Old Man is a title he has earned. Subtlety has never really been Weirdo's strong point. If there's a mare nearby, chances are Weirdo has already noticed her and probably attempted to introduce himself several times. Of course, Weirdo's love of the ladies is one of the reasons the boys and girls aren't out in the fields together. Left to his own devices, Weirdo would quite happily spend every waking minute trying to charm the girls. Whether the girls always appreciate this attention is another matter entirely. Thankfully, Queen Annie is one of the few mares who refuses to be impressed. While some of the girls are very happy to stand by the fence and chat to him, Annie absolutely has no interest in entertaining his nonsense. Whenever he tries his usual charm offence, Annie quickly puts him back in his place, which, to be fair, is something he needs every now and then. He occasionally needs taking down a peg or two. An interesting fact about Weirdo is that he's actually Hoytz's half-brother. Whilst they are certainly their own horses, you can definitely see some of the family resemblance in their personalities and in their faces. Both are confident. Both like being in charge. Both have a habit of believing that the world revolves around them. And both somehow manage to get away with far more than they should sometimes. I've often thought that Weirdo is like a mixture of Hoytzer, Hidder, and a whole lot of Weirdo mixed together, which creates a very unique horse indeed. Of course, For all of his swagger and flirtatious behaviour, there is another side to Weirdo. Underneath all of that confidence is one of the soppiest horses you'll ever meet. He absolutely adores people, cuddles, scratches, and attention. If you're willing to stand there and fuss over him, Weirdo is more than happy to stay exactly where he is and soak up every second. In the Frisian Friendship Barn, this softer side shines through beautifully. Visitors quickly discover that beneath the boss horse exterior is a horse who simply loves being around people. He'll stand quietly for cuddles, enjoy being groomed, share peaceful moments, or simply stand nearby while someone else sits and enjoys his company. And if 2 or 3 people want to fuss over him at the same time, Weirdo is more than happy with that arrangement too. In fact, he'd probably argue that there should be more people. Now, many of you will know him as Weirdo. And yes, that nickname came from me, i.e. Frey. If you followed the sanctuary for any length of time, you'll know that I have a very good habit of giving the horses very random nicknames. Usually, I only have to call them something once and it sticks like glue forever. And that's exactly what happened with Weirdo. I called him Weirdo once, and somehow it just stuck. Now, before anyone worries, it's entirely a term of affection, because yes, Weirdo is lovely. He's incredibly lovely, but he's also weird. The two things aren't mutually exclusive. He's full of quirks, strange expressions, odd habits, and unique ways of looking at the world. He's wonderfully, gloriously, and unapologetically himself. And honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a little bit weird. After all, I'm a bit weird myself, which is probably why Weirdo and I get on so well. One of the reasons the nickname suits him so well is that Weirdo is full of strange little quirks. For example, he has a habit of greeting people with an unusual squeal. I don't quite know how to describe the sound. It's not a whinny, it's not a squeak, it's just a very weirdo noise. It's quite girly, high-pitched noise. Every horse has their own way of saying hello. Weirdo's just happens to be slightly more dramatic than most because he doesn't do anything by halves. Of course, Weirdo isn't his only nickname. He's also known as Larry or Larry Llama, mainly because of his long face and the fact he occasionally looks more like a llama than a Frisian. In fact, if he could spit like a llama when he was annoyed, I genuinely think he would take great enjoyment from it. One of his most recognisable features is his tongue. Because his front teeth don't quite meet, so his tongue often hangs out. Sometimes it's just a little, sometimes it's a lot, and when he's a bit more tired it hangs out even further. And it's so funny, when he's under sedation his tongue really does just hang out then. If you've ever looked through my camera roll or through the pictures and clips in this video, you'll quickly notice a surprising number of them featuring Weirdo's tongue. Most of the pictures and clips throughout this video came from my phone, so there is plenty of evidence. At this point, the tongue has become part of his personality, and honestly, it wouldn't be Weirdo without it. Over the years, we've become quite familiar with Weirdo's various llama expressions. There's happy llama, relaxed llama, unimpressed llama, angry llama, and, of course, tongue llama. And you cannot forget llamacorn. Tongue llama is probably the expression most commonly photographed and the most likely to appear throughout this video. For all his confidence, though, there is one pony who seems to have completely won him over: Prince. Little Grey Prince. For reasons known only to Weirdo, he has developed a slight, or perhaps major, obsession with our oldest resident. Whenever Prince is nearby, Weirdo almost always wants to stop and say hello. A sniff, a chat, a catch-up between friends, even though sometimes it's very much one-sided. And while Prince likes to maintain his grumpy old man reputation, I think he's rather fond of Weirdo too. You'll often see Weirdo look away and then Prince to sneak a little glance at him. One of my favourite moments happened when Prince was out in the orchard with Weirdo and Nero. At some point, Nero decided that Prince was worth bothering. Weirdo disagreed. He stepped in and made it very clear to Nero that Prince was to be left alone. And then he went over and checked on his little grey friend. It was such a sweet moment. For all of the swagger and boss horse energy, Weirdo has a genuine caring side too. There are plenty of moments where you'll see Weirdo stop whatever he's doing because Prince happens to be nearby. The two golden oldies seem to have a genuine soft spot for one another. Apparently, a conversation is required. The two golden oldies seem to have formed a friendship that nobody quite expected, but which somehow makes perfect sense. Weirdo loves the girls, but he also loves his boys, in particular Nero. The two of them have formed a lovely friendship, and Weirdo has very much taken on the role of mentor, firm but fair, as he has spent a lot of time babysitting Nero, although perhaps occasionally a little firmer than Nero would like. Sometimes we have to step in because Weirdo can be a bit too enthusiastic when encouraging his younger friend to move around. Weirdo gives off the energy of a lad's lad on a stag in Benidorm who drinks excessive amount of Stella and convinced he is the most funniest and entertaining guy in the room. And if he was a person, he'd either be a male stripper or he would be a bartender who was always trying to flirt and get people's numbers, and be constantly sent on courses for inappropriate behaviour in the workplace. It really would probably become a second home to him. Weirdo loves to have playtime with Nero. Sometimes before breakfast, you'll see them down having a play and chasing each other about. Although Weirdo also enjoys his ice play dates too, particularly if they involve mutual grooming or persuading Ice to trot around a little more than he was originally planning to. For all his love of the ladies, Weirdo genuinely loves having his boys around too, being part of a group, and more importantly, having friends to play with and boss and push around, as that really brings out his sparkle. You can see the difference when he's out with his boys, as he did lose a little bit of his sparkle over winter when he had to be up on the tracks and not having a constant companion to boss about, as I do believe it does bring him genuine happiness to boss and shove people about. And it's always entertaining between him and Hida, as Hida is also a tad overdramatic when greeting people, but he does win for having the best noises. But Weirdo will be in a turnout, and Hida will turn his bum to Weirdo, and Weirdo will try to bite him. I can't quite put my finger on what kind of relationship there is between the two, but they don't get along out in the field together if girls are around, but that will never change. But there seems to be some kind of friends when a gate or a fence is in place. One of the biggest parts of my own journey with Weirdo has been groundwork. Before Weirdo, I've never done groundwork with a horse before. So while Weirdo was learning, I was learning too. Because Weirdo came from a driving background, he understood the world differently from some horses. When we first started, some of the things that seemed simple now made absolutely no sense to him. If I tapped him where a rider's leg would usually sit and asked him to move forward, he'd often back up instead. But why would he know what that meant? He'd never been ridden. And circles, forget circles. Weirdo had spent years travelling mostly in a straight line. Bending through his body wasn't really something he ever needed to do. And at first he simply couldn't do it. But little by little he learnt. And honestly, I think I learnt just as much from him as he ever learned from me. He taught me confidence. He helped me understand that I wasn't ever going to hurt him by asking him clearly to do something. You only have to watch how physically horses communicate with their friends to understand that they can be very clear with one another. He's taught me patience, accuracy and consistency. He taught me to stay present because Weirdo knows immediately if my focus isn't fully on him. And the moment your attention drifts, he's already noticed. And he thinks, why should I do anything if the attention isn't fully on me? I also trust Weirdo completely. And I'll often sit or lie on the floor with him. And he's very good and he knows exactly where his feet are and where I am in comparison to them. More recently, Weirdo has faced some health challenges of his own. After suffering an impaction, investigations revealed that he has gastroparesis. This means that his stomach empties more slowly than it should. Following his initial scope, he went on to a soup-only diet to make sure his food was passing safely through his system. Once we knew that it was, grass was slowly and gradually reintroduced into his diet. He started with 1 hour, then increased to 2 before being scoped again. The repeat scope showed that his food was still moving through his system, a little more slowly than it would in a horse without the condition. There was a little food remaining in his stomach, but that's part of the delayed emptying caused by the gastroparesis. We now know which foods are not Weirdo safe. Haylage is a definite no, and we also don't want him eating long grass or long fibrous foods. We avoid giving him harder foods such as carrots too. During a couple of his scopes following the impaction, you could see the hay that had become stuck along with chunks of carrot. So now Weirdo has bananas in his feed as a softer substitution for apples and carrots. Today, Weirdo's management looks a little different. He has his metoclopramide medication twice a day to help keep his digestive system moving, and his diet is carefully managed. During the winter months, he spends more time on the yard tracks, where we control exactly what he's eating and make sure there's no hay available to him wherever he goes. It's not his favourite arrangement, particularly as Weirdo loves having his boys around, but it allows us to manage his condition, but we make sure he has his play dates. And when spring arrived and he could head back out with his friends again, he is quite literally happy as Larry. The good news is that Weirdo remains happy, bright, and very much himself. The management may be different, but it's allowed him to continue doing what he loves most, bossing his friends around, flirting with the girls where possible, and generally just being Weirdo. Weirdo has always been one of our more sensitive souls, whether that involves his skin or his digestion. He's a horse who benefits from careful management and from us paying attention to the little details. One particular interesting moment when Mel, the animal communicator, mentioned Marigold during his session with him. And we looked into their potential benefits and discovered that they could support several of the areas Weirdo struggles with, particularly his skin and his digestion health. So marigolds have now become part of his feed routine too. Although he has only been here since 2022, it feels as though he's been here his whole life. He's the boss of the boys, the protector of Prince, the mentor to Nero, a friendship bond favourite, a part-time llama, and of course a full-time weirdo. I can absolutely imagine him still being here in his 30s, still swaggering, still flirting, and still bossing everyone around. Still convinced that he's irresistible and making us laugh every day.